From deep in the Burbank Media District, it's time for another edition of My Burbank Talks, presented by the staff of My Burbank. Now, let's see what's on today's agenda as we join our program.
Hello, everybody. Craig Sherwood here with you, and Happy New Year. What a great, if you're a college football fan, you couldn't go wrong today. Outstanding Rose Bowl game where Michigan prevailed. And then after that came Washington as they won their game also. So we'll have Washington versus Michigan for the national championship next week. It'll be the last ever time a Pac-10 team, or Pac-12 team, is going to actually represent the conference. So if they win a national championship, that'll be a little asterisk for them. Anyhow, we hope everybody had a good, safe weekend. A lot of things going on. Last week we started off with the year that was, and this week we follow up with part 2, the year that will be. Once again, Ross Benson and Craig Durling have the evening off. They're having finished celebrating from last night, maybe, and why not have an extra day? Because they do all spend a lot of time here working. So right now it's just lonely old me in the studio, and you got to put up with me only. So what can I tell you? Sorry about that, but sometimes life's just tough. Anyhow, let's move on to the year that will be, 2024. Anyway, I kind of scanned around for some things, and that are topical issues coming up for the coming year that you should be aware of, and hopefully, as they come up, we will talk about them, and we'll see if they come to fruition or not. But for now, we'll just let's move on. City Council wise, they should be moving forward on buying the Hollywood Piano site and making it into a homeless shelter. So it's something we have needed. They're going to make it as a crisis, and they're going to buy the land at fair market value. Hollywood Piano did not lose their lease. They're selling their own building. So hopefully we can put this thing together. They're going to use the parking lots for a single day type thing where people can spend the night there and they have to leave the next day. So their motorhomes will not be parked there on a permanent basis. But it's going to give them an alternative somewhere to stay for people who need to spend the night somewhere safe. Coming up is going to be a discussion of the Metro Rapid Transit Corridor project. Now, for those of you who may not have listened to our show previously, what they're talking about doing, what Metro wants to do is put a single lane through Burbank on Olive Avenue, all the way up to San Fernando Road, and basically they want to either A, create a lane on where the parking is and take away parking on Olive, or B, leave the parking and take away one lane of traffic, so you have a single lane of traffic going both east and west on Olive, which, let's face it, that's a disaster. I mean, right now, 2 lanes of traffic in each direction is a lot of traffic right now. Can you imagine only one lane? And then we have one lane just on Verdugo, and pretty soon we might have just one lane on Magnolia. So it's going to be... The city council has sent a letter saying we don't want that. There's not, until they can demonstrate a need for it. I mean, basically sending one bus through there every 15 minutes or 20 minutes compared to all the people that will be waiting and waiting and waiting. I just, not a good plan. Not a good plan. But city council is working on it, and they're fighting it. You're also going to see the city council come up with the single-use foodware regulations. So basically, the restaurants have got together with the city, and they're going to start having rules. One rule such as if you have a restaurant that seats 31 or more people, you'll have to use metal objects that you have to wash. You just can't have plastic utensils. There'll be a fee for to-go utensils. It'll be, or not utensils, a fee for little containers and everything like that. So they're working out the kinks right now. Sustainable Burbank Commission is working on it. They're going to bring it to City Council, and we'll let you know when that comes up. Sometime in 2024, we actually might have a meeting with the BUSD board and the City Council together. Now that we have a change of leadership, it might happen. Although the change of leadership on the school board isn't exactly much of a change of leadership, but hopefully they can get together. There's a lot of issues they can get together and talk about. I'll give you one issue right now. I was thinking of after watching the Rose Bowl game today. I know that at the Rose Bowl, they used the golf courses and places around there to park cars. And what they do is they bring community groups in to help with the parking, and they give those community groups, a check for their group, not to the individual person, but to the group. The same thing as the parade decorators do. They all bring in groups of people and pay their organization a fee to help out. Why can't we get together, since we use a company for the Starlight Bowl and we charge for parking? Why can't we have the Starlight Bowl work with the school district and use that as a fundraiser for our different sports teams and the arts programs, the choirs, the drama programs, and have their kids go up there and help with parking, and they get a donation made to their organization, because right now the district is zero for extracurricular activities. It's up to like Burbank Arts for All and places like that to help fund the arts, and sports is pretty much left out of the mix completely. And it's a fight between each sport team to try to go out and raise more money, and they're all hitting up the same people all the time. So it's a rough thing. So that would be my idea when that comes up, if we ever have that meeting. How can we help them raise, help the extracurriculars raise money, because there is an avenue there that they use it other places. Big issue in 2024 is going to be the gun stores. That's going to come up on the agenda down the line. They talked about it recently and talked about a couple things. The only thing they did not discuss was how many gun stores can be in Burbank at once. Now, of course, we've got 14 registered gun, not stores, but people who can actually sell, retailers. But even if there's only, let's say, 10 brick and mortar locations, do we need 10? How about 5? And my proposal is, as they go out of business, the brick and mortars, and we don't let another gun store come in until we get down to 5. Once we hit 4, if a gun store wants to come in, fine, we'll have one come in, go back to 5 again. But we need to cap the number. Other cities do it. Burbank should do it too. I like being the media capital of the world, not the gun capital of the world. So hopefully we can take care of that. Magnolia Park is going to be in for some changes down the line. Phase 1 in Magnolia Park is going to be to put signals in at each corner in a way to help cut traffic down and pedestrian safety and all that thing. But especially to slow the traffic down, because if there's no signals on corners going red, then people just kind of scoot right on through there, and there's a lot of pedestrians who are doing shopping and everything else. Down the line, phase 2 is going to be to put a center medium down Magnolia and have one lane of traffic on each side. So you'll have one lane of eastbound traffic, one lane of westbound traffic, with a center medium, something like they have on Chandler, in place. So, and I'm sure there'll be a bikeway or a walkway down the middle of the medium or something. So that might be a nice thing. Something that may or may not happen in 2024. California high-speed rail. It's happening up north, in the northern parts of the state, but down here, a lot of infighting. They just improved $2 zillion in federal money to work on it. But yet down here in Southern California, we still don't know where our stations are going to be, although they want to put one here in Burbank somewhere by the airport. They haven't figured out where yet, but they have now decided they're not going to put it where the Avion project has gone into. So they have to put one. They want to put one in Burbank, but there is no route yet. There's no building yet. I mean, I hate to say it, but my days on Earth will probably limit me from ever seeing that come to fruition. There's a private one being built with some, well, I shouldn't say private. There is some state money going into it, also federal money, into high-speed rail from Rancho Cucamonga to Las Vegas. So I'm sure that's going to get done pretty quick because, basically you have just a lot of desert there. Not a lot of, homes to navigate and cities and everything else going on. But we'll see. City Council is also going to be working on the Burbank Center Plan, which is something for downtown Burbank. They've been talking about it for a while for transportation and everything else. Also, hopefully the media district specific plan will be discussed. Although I'd love somebody to tell me why my little corner of Burbank is not in the media district. It cuts us out. The media district stops at Pass Avenue. So anybody between Pass Avenue and Clybourne, we're left out. We have no plan, no rights, who knows what. They don't care about us. I know they care about us, but I can still say they don't care about us. Also, we're going to have more bicycle path construction. And they're talking about constructing a bike lane up on Staff Mountain Road. The eventual goal is to have bike lanes all throughout the valley, all the way to ride your bike all the way from Topanga to the beach. Just have to ride around the mountain instead of over the mountain. But that's eventually the plan. Although I wish they would examine the bike lanes they have in Burbank, because some bike lanes are in a lane of traffic that's about 15 feet wide, and you tell me how that's safe? I don't think it is. Examples, Pass Avenue between Verdugo and Alameda. There's a section going north and a section going south where there is zero extra room for a bicycle, and yet it says bike path. Very dangerous. Well, let's see. Okay, so let's get into some things they're going to work on. The Complete Streets Plan. Basically, that refers to a transportation facility that is planned, designed, operated, and maintained to provide safe mobility for all types of users, including bicyclists, pedestrians, transit vehicles, truckers, motorists, and equestrians. The goal is to improve safety for all modes of travel and for all users, ages, abilities, and disabilities. The complete street, that's great. But if the complete street plan is what is Burbank Bus's excuse for being around, it's not much of a plan. So hopefully they can come up with something that has a little less to do with, well, I'm not sure. Burbank Bus, I really think is a dead operation. I don't call them Burbank buses, I call them Burbank limos. Because when you see one driving around town, there's usually just one person on it. They have a personal limousine service, basically. And, either A, scrap the program and come up with something else, or B, come up with smaller vehicles. Do we really need a 50-seat bus to carry around 2 or 3 people? I mean, you want to talk about sustainability and all these things and everything, they may be on not using gasoline, but it's still tires on the road. It's still wear and tear on the streets. There's a lot of things going on there. So I'm a big fan of Burbank Bus, I guess, as you can tell. So what else is coming up? How about some active developments that are going on in the city? Some have started, some haven't started, but may start. And who knows, some may be done by now. We're going to have the airport replacement terminal project. Remember, I said replacement, not new. It's not new. It's just replacement. I guess, I'm not sure how. If I look up replacement, I'm sure the word new must be in there somewhere. It's a dictionary term. But we're going to have the new terminal, the Icon, which I think will be, it looks beautiful. I think they're breaking ground. I think we're going to see that within It might be done within 2 years, maybe. Hopefully. Once again, hopefully while I'm still alive. Some other projects that happen. We have a project over at 650 South 6th Street, which is going to be a multifamily residential, a 3-story multifamily development with 46 residential units. So if you want to go on at 650 South 6th Street, that's it. Of course, the La Terra project at 777 Front Street, which is the one that's Front and Burbank Boulevard, where they've actually closed Front Street down for a while as they improve the streets and utilities and add sewers and fire hydrants and everything else. That's coming along, and that's going to be 573 residential units. A lot of units, and also about 307 room hotel. So 307 room hotel. That's and I guess weekends like this are hard to get hotel rooms. I'm sure it was all filled up for the Rose Parade and the Rose game, the Rose Bowl game. I'm sure we had a lot of fans here from Michigan. And so I'm sure that all the hotels were probably booked up because we're right near everything. And of course, by the time the Olympics roll around, I'm sure there'll be a lot of people here. Let's see here. The Cambria Hotel at 2801 Hollywood Way. I think that's pretty well underway. Coming up soon is the Fry's Residential Project. It's called something else, but I call it the Fry's Project. It's going to have, let's see here, have offices, 862 residential units, including 12 live work units, with 80 very low income units, or 13.2%. Wow, 13%. That's, you talk about all these great, I guess we don't want a lot of low income people in Burbank. Just a couple. Let's say we have them. There'll be 800 square feet of office space too. For restaurant uses and office space, it's going to be a massive development there. And once again, Hollywood Way is going to become a very busy street. The Avion project on Hollywood Way by the airport is, I think it's pretty much done, but they're still, moving in new people, new tenants, become a very popular place. At Palm and Magnolia, the First Street Village, there's 275 apartments there, with retail and commercial use space too. Moving down the other side of town in the media district, and this actually is the media district, is although I have to think about that because this is on actually the west side of Pass. So maybe it isn't the media district. I have to look at that. But that's the 4100 block of Riverside Drive. They're going to put a new 7-story mixed-use development consisting of 63 dwelling units, and a ground floor commercial area. At one time, it was going to be a market. Now they've decided to make it a restaurant. And of course, we need more restaurants in that area because there's only 3,000 restaurants in Riverside Drive. There'll also be a new 4-story building consisting of 9 dwelling units also in it. So 9 dwelling units in a 4-story building. Pretty big ticket items there. And the parking for residential and commercial, 3 levels of subterranean parking. And at Great Park, which consists of 155 residential parking spaces and 87 commercial parking spaces. A lot of at least they have parking spaces. Because parking is always an issue. But 3 stories underground of parking. Don't want to be down there in an earthquake. And because they're having 2 buildings, they're thinking about putting a pedestrian bridge over the alley. That's the alley that runs. We're talking about the old FedEx site. That used to be a Sony site. That used to be a lot of things. That I think at one time was even a restaurant at one time. I want to say Sorrentino's. I think Sorrentino's restaurant at one time back in the day. But they want to put a bridge to connect the two buildings so it goes over the alley so people don't have to walk across the alley. I guess that alley is a heavy traffic alley. So that's interesting. New project coming at 628 South San Fernando Boulevard, a residential place, a residential structure. It'd be 4-story mixed use, with 2 levels of subterranean parking. Once again, they go down. And I find it interesting, I guess, that going down below ground is actually, they say, sometimes more expensive than actually going higher. But I'm not a builder. I don't know. I just play one on TV. Let's see. There'll be 42 dwelling units, and there'll be 4 reserved for households qualifying as very low income and 1 for low income. So once again, another 42 units, with 5 being for our lower income residents. So once again, we have we want to say, we take care of our lower income. We don't want to give them all the rest. We don't want to make a whole building for them, but we'll give them a couple here and there. We'll throw them a bone. SB 35 projects. Yes. Senate Bill 35, which basically said a developer can come in and be as greedy as he wants to be and bypass the local zoning and code laws in a city as long as he decides to put some low-income housing into the project. The city cannot refuse it. Now, our city decided to try to refuse it with Pickwick, and it cost us about $300,000, of course. And that $300,000, guess what? That's the amount of money that we just lost on Tin Horn Flats. We didn't lose it. We just didn't ask for it. We spent it, but we never sued for it back. We just let them off the hook. Completely off the hook. But, we asked them for $17,000. But we lost $300,000 on Pickwick. But nice to recoup that money with the Tin Horn Flats settlement. But, it's easy to give out the money. It's hard to go out and collect it, I guess. So our SB 35 projects. 2014 Empire. 148 units. 921 Riverside, which is the Pickwick site. It'll be 92 units with 3-story townhomes. 3000 Empire Avenue, 337 units. 3001 Empire across the street, 131 units. Moving over to Olive, 3200 block of Olive. That's basically 3200 block of Olive. That's a project they have not confirmed yet, but it's going to be a 4-story mixed use with 117 rental units. 910 South Mariposa, once again back in the Rancho District, 23 townhomes, and 801 South 6th Street, 39 units. Now, we have a new Senate bill passed by the author of SB 35. I think it's SB 423. I can't remember exactly the numbers. We seem to have so many bills and numbers. Too bad they don't have names, just have numbers. But they've corrected the flaw that let these developers come into rancho areas and basically destroy the rancho area with their building. That's not going to be allowed anymore. So the rancho areas will be protected. The rest of the Burbank, you're open game. You're fair game. And not much the city can do about it. The other thing that's going to be happening this year, and you watch how fast this happens because this is all private development. This is not, and it's been approved and ready to go. But the Ranch Lot Studios redevelopment. Okay. You're going to have basically a 5-story office building, 16 new sound stages, and a new mill building. They need to construct things for their stages, of course, and a 5-level parking structure. This is not, they didn't say anything about subterranean on this one, so it's probably a 5-level above ground parking structure. So that's going to be over at the old Warner Brothers Ranch, now called the Ranch Lot Studios, owned by Jeff Worth, as he traded his land behind NBC or the former NBC, the old NBC, for the ranch. And I think it worked out well for everybody. Let's move on a little bit to what's coming up and what's just opened. So some of these are places that are coming up, going to open. Some of these may have already opened. But I grabbed this list off the city website real fast just to let people know some of the new businesses that'll be in town. Let's start off with Aikan Sushi, Aikan. I'm not sure if Aikan is how you pronounce it, but it's a sushi place, and you always need good sushi. And that's at 230 North San Fernando Road, or San Fernando Boulevard. I'm sorry. Why do I say road? I'm not in Glendale. The Slice House, which I imagine is a pizza place, is going to be at 108 East Palm. So that'll be down there between on Palm, I guess in the AMC walkway there. Bagel Boss, 3116 West Magnolia. Bagels are becoming popular. I guess everybody's trying to get into the Western Bagel. Western Bagel has the advantage of a lot of parking. And in the mornings, there's really nobody else in that lot, so they can accommodate a lot of cars and a lot of customers. So that's really an ideal location. We don't know how the parking will be on Magnolia in the mornings, but good luck for them. Nothing Bundt Cakes. That's going to be at 1737 North Victory, so that's in the Empire Center. Nothing Bundt Cakes. We had some Bundt Cakes at the State of the Union, State of the City address that the Chamber of Commerce put on earlier this year, and a Glendale Bundt Company cake gave out free samples, and they were amazing. So I didn't know Bundt cake could be so good. I always say hit a weight. Nobody likes the Bundt. I wait a second. That's baseball. My fault. Yes, I'm telling jokes to myself right now. Oh, yes, I get it. Okay, I'm going to put my own bad sound effects in. Teaspoon Boba. I'm not sure what Teaspoon Boba is. Sounds fascinating. I might want to try, but I usually eat more than a teaspoon of things. That's going to be at 201 East Magnolia, which is, of course, is the town center. That means you got to park somewhere inside the town center and walk through it, or park. Hard place to park and walk into. But if you're down there in the downtown area, and maybe just walk right across the Magnolia and go right into it. Sunright Tea Studio. A tea studio. That's interesting. 124 East Palm. Once again in the AMC walkway there. So that's another place coming. Another place in the walkway is going to be Tigawok. 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 Sounds like a walk place. Don't run, walk. Wouldn't be called Tiga Run, it'd be called Tigawok, of course. Bone Juice LA. I have no idea what Bone Juice LA is. And I'm not going to get into it. That's coming into 3419 Magnolia Boulevard. Also Magnolia Boulevard, 3619 is going to be Crumble Cookies. Oh, you got to love cookies. I can't love cookies anymore, though. I've got to get off the cookies. Another doghouse is coming to Burbank. Of course, we have the one in the old Taco Bell location on, Kenwood and Olive, and now we have another doghouse coming into where the Evian Center is, kind of where the over by the airport. So if you're a doghouse fan, there's another location for you. Calaveras, 221 North San Fernando Boulevard. That's on right just past Orange Grove, between Orange Grove and Palm. Not sure what Calaveras is. Idlewild Tavern at 4200 West Olive. I think that's the old Italian restaurant there. I know it's been under construction. They got fences around it, so hopefully that's coming in. Amy's Drive-Thru. That's going to be the Empire Center. Amy's Drive-Thru. I do not know what kind of food Amy has, but she's going to have a drive-thru. Now, she has to obey all New Burbank's new drive-thru regulations also, but it'll be interesting to see what she has. My problem is, with the drive-thru in the Empire Center The problem is it's going to take you 10 minutes to drive into the Empire Center. Then it'll take you 5 minutes to stay through the drive-thru. Then it'll take you another 10 minutes to get out of the Empire Center. That's a poor place to have a drive-thru, but I'm sure they know what they're doing. There'll be a lot of traffic there. I'm sure the donut shop does very well there. Krispy Kreme. I know they always have a line. We have an appliance store coming in at 1719 North San Fernando. Absolute Appliance Store. Once again, don't know if they're there yet or not, but they're scheduled to be in. There's a Wingstop coming in on 3003 North Hollywood Way. So that's down there by the airport also. I think it's a little shopping center where you have the Del Taco and the McDonald's and the Panda Express and all that stuff in there. Used to be a good fish place in there too. I think they're still there. There's a good little fish restaurant there you should try out. And the Magnolia House, 2623 West Magnolia. Magnolia House used to be called Tin Horn Flats. And no longer going to be called Tin Horn Flats. New owner of the property, everything's going to be new. When they come in, welcome them. Do not blame any of Tin Horn Flats baggage on them. They are coming in as a respected Burbank business, and we appreciate that. They're going to clean that area right up for us. Okay. Well, that's it for coming soon restaurants and locations. Lastly, a lot of things going to happen in 2024, but just major things. We've got elections. We have an election cycle coming up. And we already have 2 city council members who have declared for open seats. I wouldn't say open seats. They're declared for seats. Yes, the assembly seat is open because Lord Friedman has termed out. So I know Nick Schultz has thrown his hat in for the assembly seat. And Constantine Anthony has thrown his hat in for the supervisor seat. Although Catherine Barger has not termed out and is running for re-election. So I got a feeling that he's got a chance between Slim and none. And Slim has just left town. But it's, you know what, he ran for city council before once, didn't make it, and then made it the second time. But he got experience the first time. So this could be just more exploratory than it is actually anything else. I know he's out there on the campaign trail, banging on doors and kissing babies. Better than banging on babies and kissing doors. But I know he's out there doing the legwork. And let's see, Senator Anthony Portino is running for Adam Schiff's seat. And so is Laura Friedman. So our state senator and our state assembly member are both trying to move up to Congress. And the reason is because Adam Schiff is now running for state senate. And last I heard, he's going to get some, it's going to be a pretty good a race between him and Steve Garvey. The Garv. Steve Garvey. Amazing. If you have a name, all of a sudden you become a political candidate in this town. It doesn't matter what your experience is. Depends what your name is. Everybody went and cheered for you at the ballpark. Oh, he must be going to become a great senator because he could sure do well in that 2-2 breaking ball. So we'll find out. In Burbank, now those are good. We have March for the primaries, so we'll see how that goes for November for the runoffs. But in November, Burbank will have their elections also, and we've got 2 city council seats, of course. Nick Schultz and Constantine Anthony both have their seats open this coming November. So, will they run again? Constantine Anthony said at a meeting recently that he was not going to run again. But, what a politician says one year and what he does the next year are always is up for grabs. I'm sure Nick Schultz will see how he does in the March election to see what his plans are for November. But there's a good chance that if they put all their eggs in the one basket, they could both be out of politics come November. The same with Laura Friedman or Portino, even Schiff. If they all lose their November elections, they're out. They're out. I would think, I don't know. we'll find out. We're going to have Nick Schultz on, and actually, Constantine, we're going to do an election show for every candidate who wants to do one, local candidate, and we will bring that kind of stuff up and see what they want to talk about. Also, going to be 3 school board seats open. Boy, I'll tell you what, if there's ever a time to get some new blood in that school board, this is going to be the time. Because they're trying to get a bond measure passed, which is fine and dandy. But boy, with that oversight we have right now, and the way they lose money, and the way they treat money and give out raises and then fire people with the raises, we need some better leadership. We need some. So we'll see what candidates apply. Usually not a lot of people apply for those seats. So maybe that's why we're getting the quality we're getting right now, because it's not a popular thing to be elected to. Maybe, I don't know, but hopefully there's some new blood out there who will come in and help clean it up. Believe it or not, bringing in John Paramo, who brought in Dr. Oscar Macias, and Dr. Paramo and Dr. Macias, I think will do a good job in cleaning up the educational side, but the financial side, I don't know. So that'll be a November decision for you voters. We're sure we'll talk about it later. Anyhow, this has been it's been a short version of our show here. There's not a lot we can do to predict the future. We can, but I'm sure a lot of things we missed. I was going to hope my cohorts would come in tonight, but they, like I said, they were taking the night off, which is fine. Everybody deserves a night off. Let them have a couple weeks off. The kids getting a couple weeks off from school. People deserve some time off. I, the guy with no life, I'm here. What can I tell you? It's just like the poor newscasters who have to work on Christmas and New Year's. You turn on the news at 11 o'clock, there they are working. Probably don't want to be, but there they are. Anyhow, I think that's it for our part 2 of the year that will be. Hopefully you took in last week's edition of the year that was. That was part 1. Next week, we'll be back with our regular The Week That Was and The Week That Will Be show. And with many more specials coming up, and issue shows and profile shows and all sorts of things. If you have ideas for our shows, send us an email. myburbanktalks@myburbank.com. Send us an email. Let us know what you think. Let us know what you want to see, or want to hear. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe. Please subscribe to the channel. We got to build up to 1,000 subscribers. Because right now, we don't make any money off this thing. And we would love to make some money off this thing. Now, we're never going to make a fortune. But it would be nice to get something back for our work. So, that's about it. Hope everybody's doing well. And have yourselves a Happy New Year.
My Burbank Talks would like to thank all of My Burbank's advertisers for their continued support. Burbank Water and Power, Cusimano Real Estate Group, UME Credit Union, Burbank Chamber of Commerce, Gain Credit Union, Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, Community Chevrolet, Media City Credit Union, UCLA Health, Tequila's Burbank, Logix Credit Union, Hill Street Cafe, Bertain Escobar Wealth Management, and the UPS Store on 3rd Street.